Hello and welcome to the Lou Review. I'm your host, Rosa Hart, and today my guest is Rachelle Wright. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
And you're here to talk to us about the trails in cave country.
That's exactly right. In a nutshell, that's like the whole point. We want to make sure as many people know about the amazing trails we have in the Mammoth Cave region of Kentucky, whether they're travelers or locals alike. We're a nonprofit, and our group is made up of trail users and stakeholders that are tourism entities in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just super passionate about getting people on trails.
So, are these cave country trails underground?
Some of them are, in fact.
Oh my goodness.
So we have several. We of course have the national park, Kentucky's only actual national park with the longest cave system. Well, let me say it correctly: the longest known cave system in the entire world.
Okay.
Yeah.
As of August 2024.
As of August 2024. That's right. We do have friends that around the world who may be pushing toward their own discoveries that might outshine us with that title, but
they're not digging to make it happen.
We hope, as far as we can prove, they're not. So, yes. So we have the longest known cave system in the world. Our cave tours are plentiful in the area, but we also have 179 trails identified currently with our brand new website, and that's cavecountrytrails.com. And those trails include paddling trails, hiking, backpacking, horseback riding, mountain biking, and road cycling.
So we're not talking about just on ground if you're talking about on the water too.
Right. We are home to Kentucky's first and only national water trail.
Is this canoeing? Is this whitewater rafting? What is this?
It is
trail?
Canoeing and kayaking, but it's mainly class 1, flat water.
Okay.
We do have some rapids in one little section of the Green River, but it's minimal. So, and we have warnings, and all of that information is on the website as well for people to look that up. But yeah, so we have lots of different types of ways for people to get out in nature and enjoy their time there.
I know a lot of people discovered a lot of the natural tourism they could do during COVID when everything was shut down.
Absolutely. So the outdoor research on that was prior to COVID, we, as a nation, we were just almost there at 50% of us spending some time in outdoor activities annually, and COVID did successfully push us over that 50% mark. So we are now a nation who, the majority of us, will spend some time outside doing outdoor activities annually.
Yeah, well, who knew that was going to come out of such a thing?
Right. For us, it's been an exciting positive, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your story as far as how did you start Cave Country Trails?
I did not.
You said you're officially part of the organization.
Yes. So I work for them. And let's see, they're in 2025, they will be 1 decade old. Okay. So they will be celebrating their 10th anniversary. They began that without me.
Okay.
But part of my journey is I've worked with tourism and marketing for years, and I don't remember the year now, but one year I was working with tourism. I was talking to a traveler who definitely, I could tell he had spent a lot of time close to a campfire the night prior. It was around breakfast time. We were talking about, I was supposing that he had backpacked in Mammoth Cave National Park, and indeed he had. So we started talking about the trails he had been on the night before, and that he was doing this thing called the 52 Trail Challenge.
Okay.
And so I said, tell me a little bit about that. And we started talking. We talked long. And after that, I went home to my husband and I said, I think I want to do that. I think we can do that. I mean, I think I can do that. I think I'd like to do that. What a nice goal, And so that year I did it.
Oh, all
And
52?
we did 52 trails.
Whoa, is this like one
Absolutely.
a week? Is this several in one week? Or?
Sometimes, y'all procrastinate a little bit. I mean,
Mm,
I don't know if everybody does, but I do.
mhm,
And so there were weeks in that year that I definitely had to call people and say, man, listen, I got to get 3 trails in this week.
mhm,
Can you be my trail buddy for Tuesday or
mhm,
afternoon or whatever? So the majority of them, my husband and I did, but
mhm,
I had to call in some friends as
mhm.
well.
Because you don't want to go out hiking alone, right?
If you do,
Mhm,
and there are solo hikers out there, but you really need to have a trail plan. You need to
mhm,
let someone know where you're going. There's
mhm.
lots of safety things.
Well, I
So,
like that. I like safety plans.
me too. So, but anyway, that year just really ignited in me a passion for trail use, and the position for the director's position with Cape Country Trails became open
Mhm,
after that. And so it just seemed like a natural fit because I would be working with the tourism entities that I was already connected with
mhm,
because they're stakeholders in the project. So it was a really good time and really good fit. We had always, the Green River has always been a part of our lives, paddling,
mhm,
things like that. I'm not too much personally on the horseback riding or
mhm,
the biking, but that's the beautiful thing about trails.
mhm.
There really is something out there for everyone.
Yeah.
And in our area, while I'm kind of on that note,
Mhm,
in our area of Kentucky, we actually do have several accessible trails. So families can go out there with the stroller. You can take, friends who need a little flatter surface
mhm,
for their walking stability or a
mhm.
myriad of different situations. So we really are um, blessed with many different trail types and the ability to get many different types of people into those situations and onto those trails. There is even an accessible trail for there is even an accessible tour at Mammoth Cave National Park.
Okay. And
So
how does that work? Can people in wheelchairs go?
absolutely.
Okay.
So you have to, of course, make your reservation. One tip for all your listeners is
Mhm,
that if you're planning to go on any cave tour in the national park,
mhm,
definitely go online and grab your tickets prior because they do sell out
mm.
frequently. Um,
What's that about? Capacity issues?
exactly. You can only take so many people in one group safely into the
Mm.
cave at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so the accessibility tour is one of the tours that can be reserved online,
Okay. Well, fantastic.
and there's an elevator system
Okay.
that takes you down, and then the rest of the tour is all. Um, I don't. I'm not for sure 1,000% about this, but I think all of that tour is a newly reset pathway that
Oh.
they have just refurbished.
Eh, does it work for people with claustrophobia?
Excellent question because that is
I know
something I
there's probably
struggle with.
levels, but
Absolutely. Mammoth Cave's rooms are large. If
mhm,
you do happen to be claustrophobic, one tour that they recommend, like testing yourself perhaps maybe
mhm.
on would be a good idea, would be doing the self discovery tour at Mammoth Cave, which is you enter through the historic entrance. You are not in a group that you have to stay with. You can exit the cave anytime you feel like you need
Okay.
to. So that's an excellent offering.
Mhm,
It's not always available, but it is some. It is often, especially during high frequency times.
mhm.
And the rooms that you go into with the self discovery tour are very large.
Yeah.
They're cavernous, so
Mhm.
mammoth. So you have several. It just doesn't feel like everything is enclosed as
Right.
much.
Like I'm not into spelunking or crawling in tight
Mhm.
spaces or anything like that, but there are opportunities for that if people are into that too, right?
Absolutely right. There's a wild cave tour at Mammoth Cave National Park. There is also an off trail tour at Hidden River Cave, which is a nonprofit cave that's in Horse Cave, Kentucky. So yeah, there's several options out there. Mammoth Cave is a national park, but there are also several privately owned show caves or nonprofit,
Oh.
or caves run by nonprofits.
Hmm.
So lots of opportunities for caving in the area.
Yeah, but a lot of these trails you were talking about, like the 52 trails, were like above ground, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, the 179 trails that we have in our area include cave trails and above ground trails and water trails and horseback riding. So, yeah, it's a lot.
Right. So, are you more located, you personally, like towards Owensboro, or
So,
because you mentioned Green River, and I went to the Green River Distillery, and that was out there. So I'm trying to get a place.
Right. So, the Green River is one of the most biodiverse rivers in the nation. It runs basically, well, the first trail town on the river is Liberty, Kentucky, over in Casey County. And then the tailwaters for the river is over in Henderson. So the section of the Green River that runs through our Cape Country Trails area is really kind of Mumfordville. They're a trail town, and then all the way down to Brownsville and Morgantown. Morgantown is our last trail town on the Green River. So, but we have 6 trail towns. Would you like to know who they are?
Yes, trail towns.
I know. So they are designated by Kentucky Tourism, and they have to go through a process to be designated as such. You know, it's a proof you have to provide to the state that you can provide a trail user what they're looking for: accommodations, connections to trails, things like that,
and maintain the trails so they're not like overgrown.
Well, there's there's always someone who's in charge of the trail. Yes, there's always usually a trail maintainer, owner. So our trail towns are Mumfordville, Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City, Brownsville, and Morgantown.
Honestly, I didn't know we had our own Park City. You say Park City, I think Utah. So we have Park City, Kentucky.
We have a Park City, Kentucky,
and it's
as well.
a trail town.
It's a trail town.
So how many trails are accessible from there?
From Park City? So they are a trailhead for the Mammoth Cave Hike and Bike Trail.
Okay.
And they also have, let me think, they have a trail that goes around their Bell's Tavern Park. And I think that's their 2 trails. And they also have several, bike enthusiasts, because the hike and bike trail, of course, is, they have a bike repair station in their park. But yeah, our trail towns they all have, livery opportunities for people. Like if you don't want to bring your own canoe or kayak, you don't want to bring your own horse, they have opportunities like that. So you can really pack lightly if you're traveling to the area and use their services. So, but yeah, and then we have our region of the Cape Country Trails area is 6 counties in Kentucky, and those are Butler, Simpson, Warren, Barron, Edmondson, and Hart counties.
Hart County.
Hart County.
That's my last name. So what are some of your family-friendly or kid-friendly options in Hart County? Because I feel like I need to take my kids there now.
Right. There are really so many. Of course, my favorite thing to do is the Green River. We paddle it often. It has 300 springs on the river, which is a waterfall that flows into the green. It's only accessible by boat. It is not, you can't hike to it.
And you're not going to go over the waterfall in your boat.
No.
You're going to look up at the waterfall.
Excellent question. It's a series of springs that flow from the side of the river into the river. It's gorgeous.
Oh,
yeah, it's really, really special. So that's one of my favorite things. We also have Dutch Country Safari Park, which is an Amish-owned safari park. You get to ride like 3/4 mile trail. And anyway, there's so many.
But a safari park. What is there? A giraffe there? Like what?
There are camels, there are zebras, there are water buffaloes, wildebeest.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy fun.
Is there like a petting zoo?
There is several small animal encounter areas. There's
But this is not
But-
Kentucky Down Under,
No,
which is
but
another awesome thing in
yes,
Kentucky.
exactly. So right down the road, a mile or so, is also Kentucky Down Under.
Okay, so it is nearby that.
Yes. How fabulous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kentucky Down Under does have their own. They do have their own show cave.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another
Okay.
cave trail that we have in the area, as well as the kangaroos and the amazing animals that they have. So yeah, we're just. I mean, the entire region, well, the entire Cave Country Trails area is just blessed with amazing things like the Warren County area. They have Lost River Cave where you can ride a boat into a cave.
What's the name of that cave?
Lost River Cave.
Lost River Cave.
Mhm.
Oh, that sounds.
And
Is that one where it like glows under?
there are some lights under. It's like a modified electric pontoon type boat.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, they've really got the science down on what's appropriate, to use.
Yeah.
And then they're fixing to start their Scarecrow Trail for the fall. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's another trail option. And they have several blue holes in their valley where the water comes up out of the ground and it's these beautiful pools of blue water.
What?
Yeah, and there are several of those on the Green River as well. So, it's just the karst land of Kentucky. Uh, so much water is under there. Cave.
Now, what is the
cabins.
karst land of Kentucky?
Yeah, so karst land is, of course, I'm not a geologist, just play one on podcasts, but it's the stone layers in the cave land area of Kentucky are just prone to cave development. So in this area, we have lots of sinkholes.
Yeah.
We have lots of blue holes. We have lots of springs where the water is underground and will come up. And so, yeah, we have a plethora of caving opportunities for
And that's
sure.
Karst, Karst.
Karst, right. The
Okay.
karst land of Kentucky. And if you ever get to see like a drone shot of karst land, it does look like Thor took his hammer and just boom, boom, boom because of the way the rolling hills lay and the sinkholes developed. So it's really it's a really fascinating the geology of the area is fascinating.
Yeah. It definitely has, and it's resulting in good water for bourbon, right? With all the limestone.
The limestone water, right. So yeah, there's the layer of limestone that exists in karstland that is easily eroded underground, which has created all these amazing caves. So yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think that's one reason we've had so much trail development through the years is because this area of Kentucky, we've always been known for caves. People have always been fascinated by caves. John Muir's first publication, which was his 1,000-mile walk to the Gulf, he visited Hidden River Cave. He visited Mammoth Cave National Park. He wanted to know like what is going on here. And, so our cave areas have always been places where people have gathered, people have stayed near as they built their homes and developed their lifestyles, for thousands of years. So, yeah. And then recently, as America has developed, it's become such a tourist interest. We've had so much tourism interest, especially since the death of Floyd Collins, his entrapment in Sand Cave, which happened 100 years ago. Next, I think it's either January. I think it's February, but it was one of the first news stories internationally with the rise of the radio.
Goodness.
So we were all, theoretically, we were all on the edge of our seats to see if Floyd would make it out of the cave.
Yes.
And he was in there discovering. So, I mean, we have been a mecca for travelers for years. So
interesting. I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. You should definitely, everyone should look up I'm sure there's
Floyd Collins.
yeah, I'm sure it's a Google rich topic.
Yeah.
Floyd Collins. But because of that it is why I think we have been become the home to so many amazingly developed trails.
Mm-hmm. To really capture people's imagination for the area. Did it bring a lot of people to move here
I
from other places?
I don't know about it like
Mm-hmm.
a mass movement or anything, but
Or just tourism?
it's really been a strong tourism
Mm-hmm.
uh, stronghold in Kentucky for years and years and
Someone's entrapment in a cave makes all these people want to come get in these caves. It sounds really ironic to me.
I know it fair. That is
Yeah.
fair. Um,
But that's how that goes. It sounds
that is how that
dangerous,
goes.
and people are like, "Let me go do this dangerous thing." But
It is.
from what you're
And
describing, it sounds pretty safe. These different areas that are really well maintained and family
yes.
friendly.
So, all of the information about the trails you can find on cavecountrytrails.com. We've done our best to make sure we have accurate information indexed, length of trails, difficulty. We kind of defer on the difficulty to the all trails information, which is compiled by people who actually use the trails.
Good.
Because we want firsthand. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Up
sees
to
things.
date.
Everybody sees things differently, and then you can also see photos from the trails to kind of know what to expect.
Mhm.
Of course, we all know trails are outside, and
Mhm.
so the weather is always going to change what the trail looks like, what the trail feels like,
Mhm.
from moment to moment. But we have a lot of people who use trails year round.
Mhm.
It is not just a summer activity. We have a lot of people who appreciate the geology of the area, which is so much easier to see after all of the deciduous trees have lost their
Yeah.
leaves.
Mhm.
Then you can really see that rock
Mhm.
bluff over there in the distance and see the lichens that are growing on the formation. So it's we are not just a one season destination. We really have appeal and interest and things for people to do.
And you really were able to develop an appreciation for that in your 52 trails
That's
that
right.
got you started.
I
And
couldn't take a season off and get
right.
that accomplished. Exactly.
Yeah. So, were there any trails that you were anticipating a certain level of difficulty, and then maybe because of the season you were going in, it was harder or easier than you expected that you remember?
Nothing in Kentucky. I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I
you
know.
knew what to expect in Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, and growing up here, you kind of know. I mean, when the snow is on, you know that you know. Uh, I will say this: the fall with the cover of the leaves on the ground,
Mhm.
you really do have to watch,
Your step.
your step for rocks that will crop up in the trail,
Mhm.
and you can't see them really well because of the leaves.
Yeah.
So I think that honestly is kind of some of the diciest time to be on like a forest trail,
I wouldn't
uh,
think that. I would have thought ice or
ice,
something.
right,
Huh.
right. And that is too, but you can kind of see what with snow and ice, you can kind of see what you're, kind of stay away from, that. But yeah, I mean, it's as with any trail, you have to always be very cautious, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not a race,
Yes.
I mean, some people do. Some people do race
Race
on
to
trails.
or it's a race to complete the trails in a year if that's your goal, but it's
Yes,
not a race to twist your foot when you're
exactly.
doing it out and back out.
Always use caution.
Right.
Let's find out where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Carry water.
Mm-hmm.
All the trail safety things. So, but yeah, we really are blessed with a large number of trails, and we have developed this amazing resource, the new website that we have
Mm-hmm.
with user experience top of mind. So you can go on the website and you can search paddling, and it'll pull up all the paddling options.
Excellent.
Isn't that great?
I need user friendly.
Don't we? And then you can like grab your information and jet. You don't have to, like our goal is not to get you sucked down the wormhole where you're like, spending hours on the website. That doesn't do us any good. We want you to have the information, be able to print out the map, be safe, and go have a really great time in nature.
It's excellent. Well, I am all about local tourism because, I mean, during COVID and we couldn't really go anywhere, I started exploring local restaurants and then just got so enamored with all of the Kentucky culture and all our different like nonprofits. And I never thought about the cave system and like trails being run by nonprofits. It's been really interesting to learn how this stuff works
Yeah.
practically.
Well, and I mean, it is, I think of course, I wasn't there at the beginning of Cape Country Trails,
Hmm.
but from listening to the history that they've shared with me, it was really created by a group of trail users who are
Hmm.
passionate about trails being used and tourism entities that were passionate about the economic impact that trails can have in their area. So, it's just like a marriage of two. It's a great partnership.
Yeah.
And um, so they are able to keep it uh, put together in a way where it maintains its nonprofit status,
Hmm.
and it's just the communities that are benefiting from trail use.
Good.
So, yeah, it's who knew? And it came together with a grant from the Rivers Trails and Conservation
Okay.
Services through the National Park Service.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was, they did community
Mhm.
input and all of those amazing steps that you take to develop something in the right ways.
I guess I would have thought, based on shows like Parks and Recreation, everything's run by the government, right? And directly. But no, it's all a lot of individuals who really care about where they live and keeping it beautiful. Right?
Absolutely. And decided to do the extra work.
Mm-hmm.
Projects like this.
Voluntarily.
Yes, projects like this create extra work
Yes,
for
for sure.
everyone. But it's been, again, it'd be 10 years in next year. And I think they've been able to accomplish some really great things. One thing that they did start during COVID
Hmm.
was the Cape Country Trails challenges.
Okay.
So they used to have not a trail town weekend. They had a Cape Country Trails weekend once a year, and they would have, so many people sign up for the road biking, and so many people sign up for the paddle. And when
But they're not races, they're just
right,
participation.
right,
Right.
and then when COVID happened, we of course had to pivot on that, and we created Cape Country Trails challenges where all you had to do, and we do it now
Mhm.
still because it's been so successful, is just get on a trail, take a photo of yourself on the trail,
Mhm.
upload it to any social platform you decide to
Mhm.
use the hashtag Cape Country Trails Challenge,
Mhm.
and every month we are currently giving away $500 cash prize
What? Every month?
every month for let's see, it's May through October.
Mhm.
So those are the primary months that
Sure.
people are on trails.
Yeah, yeah.
So every month, May through October, a different county is highlighted in our area.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's just been
So you're eligible if you're posting that you're in a trail in that county?
in the 6 counties.
Any of the 6
We
counties?
highlight one, trail one county each month. But
Okay.
yeah, it can be any of the 6 counties.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it really has
Mm,
been a
is there
super
a
exciting.
hashtag for Hart County?
But there,
Because I'm gonna start
yeah.
looking for it. I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
And I would be remiss if I didn't encourage you to, like Edmonson County has some amazing things.
mhm,
Barron County has, just, I mean, each county has their own unique
flavor."
flavor. And a friend of mine was just at Franklin this weekend, and she could not stop talking about how great Franklin was. That's in Simpson County. It's the
Mhm,
county seat to Simpson County. They have a fork in the road that
mhm.
was built by, do you know about the fork in the road?
Oh, are you talking about, like, a big statue of a fork that's in the road?
Yes, and it
Oh,
was
I was joking. Okay.
it was
That's a real thing.
it's a real thing. It was built by the
Um,
metalworking department at
oh.
their high school.
Oh my goodness, that is so sweet.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I
and,
love that.
it's
So is this a recent thing, or has it been there a while?
2000 something.
Mhm.
I was there recently, and I remember seeing the date, but I can't remember what it was. But, and of course, the after do you know about the Kentucky After Dark?
Oh.
It's yeah, so
Are there fireflies? Like, I don't know. What happens
it's
in
kind
Kentucky
of
after
like
dark?
it's a Kentucky After Dark trail. There's a Kentucky After Dark passport. Maybe it's not a trail, maybe that's
Mhm,
not the right word, but
mhm.
Octagon Hall in Franklin is on the Kentucky After Dark passport, where
Oh,
it's kind of that who knows what might happen
Is it
here after.
spooky?
I think so.
Are they
I
supposed to be
think it's
haunted trails?
designed
Oh,
to
dear.
be, some activity that we may not normally see during the
Oh.
daytime. So,
Are there, like, tours with, like, tour guides to tell you the history of
in
the
Octagon
area?
Hall, there is. In Franklin,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And then, of course, if you move up north a little bit in Warren County, you have,
Mhm.
the only place in the world the Corvette is made. So you have the
Mhm.
Corvette Museum
Yep.
there. I had mentioned Lost River. So, yeah,
Mhm.
all of our places have amazing local, interesting places to be. So, I think everyone, of course, I'm partial. We have established that,
Mhm.
but I think you could have multiple long weekends
Mhm.
in each of these communities where you do some of the, trail things,
Mhm.
then you do some of the attraction things.
Mhm.
Definitely have to see a cave.
Mhm.
Even if you don't want to go in it because you're claustrophobic,
Yeah.
then,
I like the idea of a great big cave with stalactites and stalagmites.
and
That
of
sounds
course,
fun.
the Louisville Orchestra
Mhm.
played with Yo-Yo Ma. That's right, last year in the cave.
I
Eh,
wanted to go to that so bad.
it was
Can we head
highly
back and do it again, please?
it was highly sought after.
Wasn't it like standing room only?
There was no
No
seating.
chairs. It was
Correct.
just standing.
Right.
Wow.
And you had to be chosen
Mhm.
through a lottery, and so, but it was, yeah.
Wow.
So amazing things happen in cave country.
Yeah.
Really do. It's neat.
So, in order to know about that, people need to check out your website, cavecountrytrails.com, and then follow you on social media.
Absolutely. We'd love to. Yeah.
What's your handle on? Is it Instagram, TikTok? Where can
It,
people find you?
we have Instagram,
Mhm.
we have Facebook,
Mhm.
but we check everything.
Okay.
We're also on X, which of
Mhm.
course was
Sure.
formerly Twitter,
Mhm.
but it's Cape Country Trends.
There you go.
So,
Simple enough. Well, thank you, Miss Rachelle Wright, for taking time to tell us what we're missing out on, and we got to explore outside of Louisville.
absolutely. We're happy to see you all on the trails anytime.
Awesome. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the Lou Review podcast, then subscribe and follow me at Rosa Raves on social media, and I'll see you in the next episode.